Well, hello, and welcome to the Splashcast. We've got two lovely ladies from Buckhannon, Upshur that I think you guys might have heard about before. So could you introduce yourselves, please?
All right, I'm Cadence Vincent.
And I'm Cameron Zuliani.
And I'm James Miller, the owner-operator of Swimwv. You want to talk about some swimming?
Sure.
All right, good. I think that's why we came here. So we're going to start with what is the Buckhannon Upshur girls thinking about? Like this is, I think there's some buzz happening with your team. Like, are we? What's the mindset going into our championships and regionals and state meets?
Well, right now, I think I can speak for the other three in our relay that we're really excited for racing like all together. We have like a new swimmer, like a freshman. And we're really excited to see what we can do this year and to have the state meet like normal again, the 2-day thing we're really excited for.
Well, what she failed to mention was the freshman is her sister.
Yeah.
So there's some ups and downs with that at practice, but I mean, same as my brother being on the team. Carter and Riley are the exact same, and like we're the exact same. They're the ones that are like, oh, we don't want to be here. But Kate and I are like, well, it goes by fast. You gotta like enjoy it while you can. But I mean, I think the same thing as Cadence. We're all just excited that. I mean, at least right now, since it's prelims and finals, I think we're both really excited. We're hoping it doesn't get changed to just finals and then just the relays, because I don't think, at least Riley getting to experience it for her first year. Because I remember, I mean, relays are such a big part of having fun at the state meet.
Oh, they absolutely are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed Riley the live streams from last year, and I was trying to show her how the meet goes, and I was trying to explain the prelims and finals, and she got so nervous, but I'm really excited for it.
That's what you showed her. You showed her my weird voice and the live streams. I hate watching myself. I tell everyone I hate watching. I mean, I love the racing, but I hate hearing some of my commentary because I was like, ooh, I wish I would have thought of something different then. All right, let's talk about. You already brought it up. So the freshman, if you will. Let's talk about having the freshman on your team. What's it like? I know that if my sister was on the team, we wouldn't be able to get along. So let's talk about having not on the team. What's it like to have that sort of dynamic for both of you, actually?
Well, sometimes it can be very stressful because you have that relationship with them, so you can be harder on them.
Yeah.
But for Riley, like me and her are really close. So at the same time, like we might have like a love-hate relationship, but like I kind of like calm her down before races and stuff like that. And even Cameron and Elena, like we've all been like close friends since we started swimming. So the four of us get along very well. So it's really nice.
Yeah, no, Carter, on the other hand, I mean, you did the last podcast with him, but I mean, he's a 6'4", 14-year-old. So, I kind of have to watch what I say or he'll beat me into the ground. But he plays basketball, so he's not necessarily at swimming all the time. So I don't have to worry about him as much as Riley. But I think it's nice that I get to have at least 1 year with him. And then like in the fall when I played football and he played football, it was nice to have like 1 season with him as well. So I think he's just excited to be a freshman and especially doing so well on the 50 with coming to like 10, 15 practices out of the whole season. So.
Yeah, that's what I found that I told him that on the Splashcast. I was totally amazed by just how fast he improved. Now, did you just say you played? Okay, you said something about football.
Yeah, so I kicked for our football team. I've been doing it since I was in 8th grade, but Carter decided to play football this year. Usually he plays soccer, but so we got to be on the same football team this year, which was really cool. So
I did not know this. I'm like stunned. I guess this is probably a bigger deal in your little area that you're like the kicker, but
yeah,
I had no clue.
Yeah.
Wow, no, it's a big deal. Even like at football games, you always know it's her, like the braid sticking out of her helmet,
Yeah.
and we're all like, no, yeah, because we all are like, yeah, she's like the best one on the team. She's a girl. I'm surprised you haven't heard about that.
I have not. This is honest to goodness the first time I've ever heard of this. This is I think that's awesome. So and I'm sure like you're always now, are you worried or not worried, but do you ever get like afraid that like you're gonna, because you know how if something happens on the kickoff or something that you're gonna be the one that has to tackle? Is that
Yeah, it's happened before.
Yeah, I think, was it in 8th grade?
Yeah,
someone like tackled her. She did like a full backflip. I've
Yeah,
watched that video like 1,000 times.
It was probably my second or third game ever, and I didn't know how to tackle. I didn't know how to do anything, and I was the last one, and like I don't know what I was doing, and then I just like, but I mean, the guys in high school, I think, are more respectful, and I think they understand that I'm a girl, so they don't try to like hit me super hard, I guess. But it's weird because sometimes they don't think I'm a girl until I take my helmet off. Like I guess they think I'm a guy with long hair, so unless they see that or my acrylic nails during homecoming, they don't know I'm a girl.
Oh shoot. So let's talk about Cadence. Let's talk about college, shall we? I hear that you're going to some place that people might have heard of before for college.
Yeah, it's pretty well known.
Would you like to tell everybody where that is, even though I don't know if most people do?
All right. Well, it was a few months ago I committed to swim for University of Alabama. So, and honestly, I know it's like a big football school.
Sure.
It's everyone knows that. Well, I didn't even know who Nick Saban was when I got down there. So I was embarrassed because we were in the same restaurant as him. And they were like, oh my God, Nick Saban's right there. I was like, who? I was like, why are we so excited? And they're like, you went on an Alabama trip and don't know who the head football coach is. I was like, nope. But yeah, I talked to a lot of schools, but that was by far the #1 school for me right now. So
obviously it wasn't Nick Saban and the football that made you want to go there. Why Alabama versus any other school that you could have went to?
Well, that was my second visit. I went on 2 after that just to, because I changed my mind. I thought like I went my first visit to University of Kentucky and I thought that's where I was going to go. And then I went to Alabama, completely changed my mind. And then I ended up going to Georgia Tech and NC State after that just to see because I had to narrow it down because I probably talked to around like over 25 schools. And I really clicked with Alabama. The coaches, the atmosphere, the team culture, everything was just exactly what I wanted. And I know it's far away, but I mean, I always wanted to go away from West Virginia, but I kind of get upset thinking about it, but then I get really excited because I've always wanted to, like, even like in middle school, I've always like, I want to go out of West Virginia. I want to go south. I want to be warm. And now that it's happening, I'm like, let's go. But then I'm like, I'm going to be home like twice a year, maybe.
Maybe. Well, especially swim team time, I don't think you get to be home around the winter break.
I'll stay there for Thanksgiving break and I'll come home for like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but that's it. And then I train all summer. So that's about it. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. And just to follow up with that, you're one of the few, I feel bad that, the stat guy of West Virginia doesn't know this, but you're one of the few people that from West Virginia that gets to swim for a Division I school. That's so rare. Most people have to go Division II. So talk about that. Like, how does it feel to just be able to go to a Division I school? Because even most of the times, if anyone goes to Division I school, it's a WVU. So you get to go to someplace. You get to go to someplace that's not WVU for Division I. Like, talk about like just that feeling.
Yeah, well, I talked to WVU, and I mean, I always considered it, but I don't really see myself in West Virginia. I never have. It's not I just want to go get out of this place for a while. So, but I mean, it didn't really hit me until I went on the visits and I got to see how crazy D1 schools, like what they have to offer. Cause I had no idea. I was like, oh, it's just D1. And then once you go on a visit and you see everything that they provide you, like the food is crazy. That's another thing. You get like they have like specific dining halls for athletes, and it's crazy. I was like in awe whenever we went to eat. There was like fresh salmon. There was all this like, yes, there was all this crazy food, and I was like, all of it's like free too, because it's like included in the scholarship, and like it was just crazy. I was in awe, and like especially in Alabama, like football pays their bills. They have so much nice stuff down there, but I'm still kind of processing it, but because it's still scary to think about that I'm leaving, because I'll probably leave the summer after my senior year to like train before the year starts, and I can even take a few classes and get credits out the way too that summer. But I talk to the Alabama coaches, like they call me still like every other week, and I still keep in contact with them, but it's still crazy though. I'm still kind of an all.
You still have a year, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm trying to, now that it's like a big relief that I don't have to worry about it anymore, because for 6 months I was on calls and I was trying to decide on where I want to go and what I want to do. And now that I chose, it's kind of like, don't have to worry about that. I'm going to enjoy my time here with my team now, crank out this year and make next year great. Like, I don't really like to think about it too much. So.
And now you'll have to swim with the sophomore.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fresh salmon, because I went to Shepherd, and the gourmet dining hall had the real food, and then the other dining hall had chicken tenders. So if you didn't want a chicken tender or French fries, you went to the other dining hall. So that's awesome. Now, are you thinking about going to college, or are you not even? Are you just like, I'll wait? Cameron, is there something in the future plans for college for you? Or are we just like, eh?
No, I'm definitely going to college. There's a few schools that I've been looking at to swim. I have to make my decision in a few weeks. But I'm kind of the opposite of Cadence. Like, I'd want to leave West Virginia too. I mean, I've always wanted to. But my dad's from Connecticut, so I've kind of always wanted to go back up there, because we always visit my family up there over summer. So I kind of wanted to go more up north. So Cadence and I are probably going to be really far away from each other. We're going to be like at little opposite ends of the country. But I think, I mean, I'm a very sociable person like Cadence, and I think I could go somewhere that's a little far away and be okay. And it's just like, if I can swim another 4 years, that's great. And maybe even try like throwing discus for track in the spring. But if I can't in the end, I understand that like not everything happens. And but I think I definitely do want to try to go up north, just to kind of get a different experience, and pick somewhere like where you could go to New York in 3 hours. You could go to Boston in 2 hours. I could visit my family in 2 hours that live up there. So I just kind of think that there's more opportunities up there that I would really look forward to. And then it's just kind of also depends on where I get into a nursing program, because right now that's what I want to do. I don't know if that's necessarily what I want to do when I get older, but it's a lot easier to apply and get into a nursing program instead of starting as like undecided and then switching in, because the nursing programs are so competitive. So right now I've gotten into a few, so I'm just kind of weighing my options, but I'll probably make my decision in a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. So
You'll have to do it here on SwimWv. You'll have to do like a official, like, you'll have to tell me first.
Okay.
Fair. Now, Cadence, I want to get to you for a second. So, if you look at the top times, and I did a really nerdy, you may have seen it, the top 60 individual rankings. It was like the most nerdy thing I've ever done in my life, with a lot of math, and I had to have an explanation on it. So what's it like? What's it like? Basically, you own the top times in every event that you swim, unless like all of the events that you swim. So do you feel like some sort of pressure, or like, oh my gosh, I can't lose? Like, is there like, talk about that for like in the state of West Virginia, you have nowhere to go but down, really, because like if someone beats you, everyone's like, oh my gosh, she finally lost. Like, is there any sort of pressure on that?
I haven't really thought of it like that, but it's kind of nice to be able to have like another event I can do because I don't want to swim the same 2 events all
Sure.
4 years. Because I don't know, I just feel like I want to switch it up some, and especially because I used to do backstroke in the medley relay, and like now I'll be doing freestyle because Riley's a backstroker. Kind of like that was my event to kind of switch it up, like switch the pace up and not do freestyle and do some backstroke. But I mean, I don't want to swim the same 2 events, so I'm kind of glad it's like that. And I will never swim a distance event. So
I think that goes for both of us.
Yeah. I had to swim like the 500 free at one of our dual meets just to see like if I could get the school record in it. And I'm like, I swam it once, never going to do it again, ever. Unless my coach makes me again, but like, that's it. I don't want to ever, because we drew out of a hat to see who would get it. And I got it.
Yeah.
So I had
three of us had to draw.
Yeah.
Like, he said they were going to make everyone do it. And then only Cadence, Elena, and I ended up drawing out of the hat. And we're like, what is this? Like,
no, yeah, it was like down. There was 2 left. One of them was the 5 free, and the other one's like 100 breast. And I'm like, either way, I'm screwed. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I don't never swim breaststroke either. So I'm like, but I got the 500. It wasn't too bad, but it's just not my. It's too long.
That's only for Preston, and that's
it.
Preston has a 500 all by himself.
Yeah, he loves that. I talked to him about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's and you guys are continuing to prove my not really validated theory that breaststrokers are more likely to be 500. I don't know what it is about the 500 and breaststroke, but they are like a little bit more like they take a little bit. I don't know. There's a different kind of thinking to swim those events as opposed to like the sprinter mentality. I don't know why that is.
Well, for the 50, that's my favorite event ever, but I tend to mess up the things that matter, like the start. I never had a good start in my 50 freestyle. So, I mean, if I swim a longer event, it's easier to make that up. But in the 50, you got to hit everything perfect if you want to do how like you want to. But I'm still going to swim the 50 probably all 4 years, but I don't think I'll ever let that event go. So it's so intense too. It's like it's only like 23 seconds of like, it's, yeah, it's so
I don't
quick.
think people really understand like someone's like, hey, how'd you do at your meet? And they're like, good. What was your time? And then you tell them like, oh, I went to 24 or 23. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, I don't think they realize that how fast that is or like how short of a race it is. And they're like, well, did you drop any time? Did you drop 2 seconds? And I was like, no, because it's so much harder to drop in a 50.
Yeah, you can't just be like, you didn't drop 3 seconds in the 50 freestyle. Yeah. What is wrong with you all?
Yeah, that's one thing about that. I kind of get discouraged sometimes but you can't drop a time every single time you swim. It's impossible. So like I'm faster now, like in season than I was last year. So I got to think about that because like I'll be going a high 23 and I'm like, this is not where I want to be. But at the same time, I'm like, I was swimming mid 24s mid-season last year. So like, I have to think about it that way. But sometimes I get discouraged, just like, dang, I really want a 22. I'm at this pace. I'm not going to get it. But I'm excited for relays mostly. I haven't really thought too much about the individual races. I don't know what it is, but like the relays this year, I'm super excited for it. I feel like they're going to be really good races.
That's because you got your sister you get to you and your sister finally get to swim together. I think that's cool. I also, what I really love about the 50 freestyle, in addition to making even more pressure at states is as soon as they say, take your mark, there is not a single person in that arena, especially during finals. There's not a single person at states that is talking. It is like you could hear a quarter drop in the back, and it's quite a bit of fun. So that's so on just a different level. Is there something you're looking forward to at the state swim meet that might be not necessarily like swimming related, but just something you might be looking forward to?
Hotel room.
Yes.
I think we all have fun in there. So just being like together when like we don't stay up late, but like we're all like, I remember last year we were in the bathroom shaving one of the guys' legs and stuff. Like it's fun.
Well, it was funny because last year Elena and I roomed together and somehow we got the suite instead of the coaches.
What?
So like Yeah, so everyone was coming over to our room, and we had like
Yeah.
10 people in our room, and it was my birthday last year for states, so we had like cupcakes and whatever, and Elena made this sign for the door, and we were all just hanging out, and everyone's like, hey, go to the birthday suite, and we were all just like, I think we all really liked the hotel room, and then we all love, like, I think honestly winning doesn't motivate us the most. It's us playing a song to walk out to. Like, that has been our case for the relay all 4 years. And sophomore year, we got to pick our song. And I think it helped us calm down. Like, it calmed our nerves. Like, we were laughing and stuff, walking out. Everyone else is also serious. And it's just like, I think that makes us more nervous, like not talking and not like. And so we were dancing to our song. We were walking out. And then, I mean, we ended up winning. So
yeah, I remember when we got really hyped up because of that. Because like as soon as the music started playing, like we weren't so like nervous, but as soon as the whistle blew, like we were straight face, we were ready. But that really helps though, calm nerves.
So I think that's honestly our goal, is like to try to be ranked first going into finals. Then we can pick 2 songs for our relays, and then it'll help us out some. So.
Now, what do you? So you have the song. Do you want to share? Do you want to wait?
Well, we don't have ones yet. We've been talking about it at practice, but
there's just so many options.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm hoping that maybe that'll happen. And I'm sorry, everyone else that I interview. I have to. That's like the question I have to say. I have to say that I'm hoping everyone wins, even though I know it can't be. It can't be like. But I hope you guys pick some really cool songs. That's literally my favorite part. And I'm really glad that you guys point out, because trying to explain that probably to your football team, or trying to explain that to others, is that the sport of swimming is more about like, so not even socializing, but being around like other swimmers. And it's all about your personal improvement, as opposed to, yes, you're trying to win a state championship. Yes, you're trying to win a state title, but the social aspect of it is really what it's all about.
Yeah, I love cheering and stuff. Like at big meets like that, I do not want to sit down, but I need to, because like to rest for my race. But like I just want to be standing up and like screaming the whole time. But that's like, I love that. That's like a great feeling too. Whenever you're going up to race and you see like your team and stuff, that's what I'm really excited for too. Because especially I just can't stop thinking about the relays, and also because Cameron leaves next year, so like that's a 20, like her split's going to be like a 24. Like we're probably not going to get another person like that. So I feel like this year for Buckhannon is our last real like shot of winning the state title in a relay for another few years. So.
And that means you're telling Cameron to swim at 23, right?
She could. So. Well, low 24 last year. I think a lot of us are going to drop time in our splits.
Well, and I think Riley honestly is either at about the same time as the girl who graduated when we won our sophomore year, or even a little bit faster. So, I mean, if we all improve and then she's a little bit faster, I mean, I think also what's kind of motivating us too is trying to get the state record, just because we broke it last year, but Morgantown beat us.
We just got second.
So Morgantown has it. So I think we want to try to not only beat, Morgantown or anyone that's behind us, but also I think we just want to try to get that record, because who held it? I think it was Elkins that held it before. And I mean, we all grew up knowing the girls that got the relay, like swimming with our club team, because they swam. And it would be nice to like have their record, even though it's Morgantown's now, but just some girls that we looked up to when we were little and they were in high school. So,
and that actually brings me to the best point about that, or like my next question that I always ask. I was always asked when this happens, because to me this is really fascinating. So your goal always is to break a record. You see those records, you saw those Elkins girls that you want to break the record, and then you do it, and it's amazing. You're like, yes, I broke the record. But then you're like, but we finished second as we broke the record. I don't even know what, first of all, I was never anywhere close to a state record. So I don't know what it's like breaking one, let alone breaking one and then someone else breaking it. Like, what is that feeling like?
I mean, last year, I mean, still that technically we still broke the state record, just someone else got it before us. That still honestly is a still confidence boost because you still went faster than what once was the state record. Just because someone else was faster, and it was really close too.
I mean, it was less than half a second.
Yeah,
I think.
Absolutely was.
Maybe at the most 0.8, 0.7. I mean, it was still and
it was really exciting for them too. I remember getting out and seeing all them hugging, and it was just, even when we got still getting second is still really good for us. So, I mean, I think it just is going to have us coming back this year with more determined for it.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be close. I mean, it's been close the past 3 years, and I just remember sophomore year, well, Cadence's freshman year, but my sophomore year, Cadence was the last one and she touched, and I swear the board glitched for a second, the times didn't pop up because I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, did we win? And it popped up, and I just remember the pure joy. It's one of the best moments of our life, just seeing and being in the moment, and then looking at the board and it saying number one, and then all of us
I remember looking up and Elena's hands flew up in the air.
and just I don't know, whoever comes and takes the pictures always to have really professional pictures, all the pictures of us hugging. I mean, I have them all over my wall, and we all get out and are group hugging. And I have this one picture where I was talking to Cadence, and we're leaning over the block and giving each other a high five. And then there's another one of one of the referees holding me out of the way because I was trying to talk to everyone. But it was just it was, I don't know how to explain that feeling but it was just we want to feel that again. We're determined to feel like that this year, and especially for Riley because it's her first year. I think it was so good for them their freshman year to win a state title, and be a part of a team. And that's what I just don't think some people understand, winning as a team necessarily, just because swimming is a lot of an individual sport unless you do a relay. So I don't know. It's just I just want to feel that feeling again. Getting thinking about it right now is giving me butterflies.
Yeah, my heart's racing. But it's weird because whenever you're in the pool, those few tenths of a second, if you won or not. Whenever freshman year, it was only by
I think it was 0.2.
Yeah,
honestly.
But I knew I touched first. It's weird because whenever you're looking, it's in slow motion. I don't know. I knew, and then I knew last year when I finished, I was she got us. Morgantown got this one, but it's weird being in the water because even those few tenths of a second, I don't even have to look at the board.
Well, and the thing I don't think a lot of people know about, at least our team, is and this isn't meant in a bad way at all, but Cadence, Elena, Riley, and I do not swim year round. Cadence probably swims the most out of all of us, just because. I mean, obviously, if she's going to swim at a D1 school, she's going to focus mainly on swimming. And Elena has done other sports. Cadence has done other sports. Riley's done other sports. And I mean, there's times when I know personally for me, I only swim 3 months out of the year because in the fall, I do soccer and swimming, or soccer and football. And then I don't start swimming till November. Yeah. And then I swim till February. States, and then I go to track, and then there's a 2-month period over summer where I swim, and then I don't come back till November. But a lot of the Morgantown, Bridgeport University girls, all they do is swim, club, summer, high school. And I think that it's really good for us considering we don't swim all year round to be up there with those girls. And we all admire them for always swimming, giving 100%. And I just think that that's also one of our other motivation factors, just because we don't swim all the time and we just want to try to win and do our best with how many ever months that we have.
Yeah, I used to run cross country, but this past year, because of recruiting and swimming, I wanted to be in the water more. And after talking to coaches, they were asking me how much I practice, and even that I practice more than the other 3 people on our relay team, it's still nothing compared to other recruits. I've never done a 2-a-day, and whenever I was telling them that, they were like, what? You've never swam in the morning and then went back that evening? And I was like, we don't have the opportunities around here. For a while on our Rays and YMCA team, we had to go to Elkins, and that pool is only 20 yards. That's where I was practicing not last summer, but the summer before that. Like
Yeah.
that's the only pool we had.
And it's just like, I don't think there's some girls that we know that have been going 2 days a week. I mean, 2 times a day, 7 days a week since they were 10 years old. And like, I don't think either of us would love swimming as much as we did now if that's all we did and didn't do anything else like through elementary, middle school.
We're far from getting like burned out from it.
And I think,
like it's just keeps going up.
Yeah, and I think we're both ready, like in college to just do one thing and see how it plays out.
I'm sorry, if you look at my stunned face, I was like, wait, the more you were talking about that, the more you were like, we don't swim year round. It was like, oh my goodness, you guys being so good and not swimming year round and that's actually, if you look at what a lot of Division I football and Division I basketball people, they look for 3-sport athletes. Mm-hmm. So I just think that's amazing that you guys are so good. And you still love the sport of swimming. Because there are sometimes I get the feel like there's people that do swim 5 hours. It's like, at what point do you start to not like it?
Yeah. I mean, we don't like practice some days.
Sure, no one does.
We're never like, okay, this is too much. Like, we don't want to do this anymore. And I know like multiple girls that are just at the point where like, I just want to get through this year and be done. Or like, I don't want it to feel like a burden. And like, obviously you want to care about it enough where you're going to do well and push yourself, but you don't want to feel like you're doing too much.
Yeah. I mean, we swim in the summer for a summer league swim team, but I'm not even kidding. We might do 300 yards of practice. Like we barely,
it's really laid back.
Yeah.
In the
We'll
summer.
just be like, it's a lot of like little kids on our team too. We'll be playing like water polo with people that are half our size. And like, it's just, that's more of like, it's outside too. We're usually just chilling and stuff, but that's more of a time to just sit back. We don't really like now is probably the most like our crunch time right now. Like these past few weeks is the most yards me and Cameron have probably swam in our entire lives. So we like our yardage this year really went up. So.
And for sprinters, you guys do not like when your yardage goes up.
No.
No.
Once again, only Preston.
Yeah.
I was a distance swimmer, so I understand Preston. So, I want to thank you guys. This has been, I'm sure people, when they watch this, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, maybe you guys will start a trend with like, maybe people will do many other sports outside of some of you two will start a trend. But thank you all so much for being on the Splashcast. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, no problem.